What's up YouTube, Capital G here, got a super spicy duel for you guys to check out. This one was actually pretty damn crazy because the possibilities almost seem endless with this crazy Cyber Angel deck at the top. I thought I kind of had a grasp of what Cyber Angels could do. You know, obviously you got Herald of Perfection and some kind of combos there. I've seen some pretty impressive plays, but I don't think I've ever seen this boss monster summoned in the deck, and I'm pretty sure none of you guys can predict what boss monster it is because you don't really associate with like ritual archetypes in general. Then we got one of my favorites at the bottom, Utopia. I talk about Utopia all the time. This is a really good demonstration of what Utopia can do, especially if you open with Exchange Tactics. I talk about this card as well. It's one of the best cards for Utopia. Essentially, if you summon a Utopia card, or excuse me, a Utopia monster, you pay 500 life points, you get to draw a card. A lot of times, if you can get a Link monster on board, you can draw 6 cards just off this. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Let's go ahead and roll it. You see he has Brilliant Fusion, which is basically like a 1-card Link. It's pretty nutty what you can do. So Seraphonite gets the Trick Clown. He's going to summon Goblinberg, that's his extra normal summon, then summons Garnet, gets Mrs. Radiant, Utopia, okay, that's going to trigger the Exchange Tactics, draw 1, going to go for Ray, draw 2, going to go for Utopia the Lightning, draw 3, now since he has Rhoda, he can get another Goblinberg, use that second Garnet, Garnet ain't no brick boys, gets to draw 4 cards, and then he goes for Prime, draw 5, and he's going to go for Utopic Dragon, and that is 5 cards drawn. Now personally, I think that he did kind of mess up here, even though he drew 5 cards, and that obviously is like super OP. If he would have went for a second Lightning, he could have drawn 6 cards turn 1, like I said. What he should have went for, Utopic Zexal, because it's kind of like a little Shockmaster, basically stops your opponent from using card effects. And with this hand, I'm not really sure what he would have actually done. But let's look at this. He activates Number Wall. I didn't even know what this card was. Basically, it makes it so your number monsters can't be destroyed by battle and card effects. It's essentially turns them into anime versions of what they were, where you guys know in Zexal, number monsters had to be destroyed by other numbers. Yeah, it turns it into Zexal rules, basically. Anyways, Gildogger is going to be used twice. So he's going to get a couple of pluses there. Dawn of the Herald for Herald of Perfection with Ben 10. Adds Ben 10 back to the hand, gets the search. None of this so far is like out of the ordinary. I was like, okay, this is like basic stuff. Summon Herald using Ben 10. If you have Dawn of the Herald, you add it back to your hand. He's going to use that new draw card for level 6s, which is actually pretty nice. He uses the Celestial Sextant, and he is going deep in this deck. Now, he does need to get the Gildogger off the field. I mean, it's 1150. I wouldn't want to leave it on the field. Goes for Beatrice to dump a Metaphos Fusion in the graveyard, which gets him another draw. This was the weird part. He then summons Destrudo. Now keep in mind, he done already paid 5,000 or 6,000 life points. So this guy is like playing. He's on the razor's edge. He's gonna pay 7,000. Goes for Crystalline Needle Fiber, Plague Spreader Zombie, Old Entity Haster. We do have that card in TCG. Yeah, we have that one. It's some of the other ones we're missing. And then obviously Norton's Band. Trickstar Lilybell is going to special summon itself, going for Herald of the Arc Light. Looking not bad. Then he special summons another copy of Lilybell. And I was like, wait, what exactly is he doing here? But just wait. Obviously, you got the Crystalline Needle Fiber effect. Pot of Desires is used. He's going to go for Formula Synchron. And now he goes for Crystron Quandex. Goes for Shooting Quasar Dragon and a fucking Synchro deck. Now, obviously, since Herald of the Arc Light hit the graveyard, he gets to search. And when he tries to go for the copy of Exceed Gift, that is going to be negated by the Quasar Dragon. So yeah, it looks like he can't really do much here. This card right here, the Utopic Dragon, its effect is negated. He does attack over Quasar, but he's able to save it, I believe, with the Machine Angel Ritual. And you cannot let your opponent keep Quasar on the field because Quasar can attack like damn near everything. Goes for Cyber Agent Natasha, which means he gets to gain some life points back, and now he's got that honest GG, no re. Even though he had the number wall, it obviously just doesn't matter. You combine a Quasar Dragon with an Honest, and your Quasar Dragon. Hold on, Quasar was 8,000 attack? Yeah, 8,000 attack Quasar. I mean, what are you going to do with an 8,000 attack Quasar? But how many times do you actually get to see Shooting Quasar Dragon summoned in? Like, do you ever actually get to see that summoned in ritual decks? Because I never thought that I would see the day. But hey, Crystalline Needle Fiber makes anything possible. If only this guy had been running cards like Strike or even Dimensional Barrier would be like really good. Dimensional Barrier might actually be good. It's just if you could guarantee you were going to open with Exchange Tactics, because if he had like a D barrier, flip it over, called Ritual, GG no re. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the duel. In fact, let me go ahead and show you guys the Cyber Angel deck. You know what? This is not nearly as strange as I thought it was going to be. When you look at the spell lineup, I think it's actually pretty standard. A lot of this stuff you see in traditional like Cyber Angel variants or Herald variants because, there's so many ritual support cards, Ritual Sanctuary, Preparation of Rites, Pre-Preparation of Rites, Donna the Herald. You're going to run all this stuff in those decks. A lot of these versions run Metaphos Fusion because you can dump it in the graveyard with Ritual Sanctuary. You can dump it in the graveyard with Foolish Burial Goods, and it's basically just an upstart at that point. But I was wondering how like tuners were going to work in the deck because you need the tuners to get to Crystron Needle Fiber. But I think because you've got Destrudo, and Destrudo is like so easy to get on the field because if it's in your hand, in the graveyard, whatever, you can just automatically summon it. You're gonna be paying a lot of light points in this deck anyways because you're running Geldagra, so it's like like go crazy. What's 1,000 light points when you've already paid 6,000? You might as well just go YOLO. And you saw some of the incredible fields that you can actually make. I'm thinking that, well, is Plague Spreader the only other tuner in this deck? Like, I'm looking at the rest of this deck and I'm like, where are the rest of the tuners now? I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. No, I think the monsters might have been shuffled back into the deck with Ritual Sanctuary because I'm like, wasn't there 2 Plague Spreaders and 2 Trickstar Lilybells in the first in that duel? But yeah, I think that they were special summoned after they were put back in the deck. And then actually, you know what? As a bonus, I got the Utopia deck as well. So the Utopia deck is super standard, except obviously the number wall. This is probably, you probably want to replace this with better traps like Strikes or Dimensional Barriers, Ash Blossom if you don't want this to be budget. But hey, it's got Brilliant Fusion in it. I'm not sure how budget it actually is. I like the Rescue Rabbits and the triple Garnets. You saw in that duel, my man used 2 Garnets in the first turn. So obviously the point is to make sure that Brilliant Fusion, if you draw it, there is 0 circumstance where it can't be dead. And honestly, even if you do happen to draw the Garnet, it doesn't really matter because you can just summon it from Goblinberg and it's not really that big of a deal. If you get an additional summon and you have a Garnet, then you can just like summon that as well, and then you get the added bonus of being able to go into and summon it off of Rescue Rabbits. There are some cards in here that I ran in my Utopia builds. Goblinberg, Summoner Monk. Star Drawing is a good card. Star Drawing, if you exceed with it, you actually get to draw a card. So if you exceed with Star Drawing and you use Exceed Change Tactics, you get to draw 2 cards. It's basically a Pot of Greed. Now, some of these things I think are kind of overkill, like the Exceed Gift, because I'm just thinking like, I'm looking at what you want to draw in this deck. The point of all the drawing in Utopia, like when I used to run the deck way back when, was to basically draw me like a Maxi to stop my opponent's turn. But if you're not drawing any OP trap cards, then all you're going to do is you're going to just draw more copies of these monsters that you don't want because you've already used your normal summon. So that's why I think that there probably needs to be not even hand traps. Like I wouldn't even trust Ash Blossom to basically counter my opponent's turn. Droll and Lotburn maybe, but I would actually just want like hard trap cards like Solemns. I know they take up space, but maybe take these out, maybe take those out, add some Solemn cards in there, and you might be set.